Alright everybody, BOB Ross Fanclub versus Team Blaze is our final at the end of the Storm North America qualifier, and Tomb of the Spider Queen is currently the first map. So Blaze, they could ban out some, I mean, once again, we're talking about mostly the same bans these days, but Tomb of the Spider Queen is changing things a little bit. It's still very popular to ban a hero like Khaldor out here. You can bet that Uther or that ETC or the Tyrande, but Tomb of the Spider Queen in general is a map that is oftentimes dominated by pushing power. So Zagara and Sylvanas will definitely play a role during the draft, and it's a question of if you want to ban them out, maybe even as the second ban usually. ETC is first of all taken out by Blaze. I could see the BOB Ross Fanclub again go for that ban on Tyrande, but they banned Tassadar instead. And Tassadar has a very similar role to Zagara in certain, at least when it comes to like certain things. Tyrande is therefore being taken first, and I could see the BOB Ross Fanclub actually going for an early Zagara here. If you ban out Tassadar, Zagara is even stronger since her creep tumors are not so easily detected, and the vision on the map is going to be great. But Muradin can be played now also with the Khaldor, with the Jaina. You can play him also together with an Uther here. You have a lot of potential for it, but keep that Zagara definitely in mind. There's the Uther Muradin. That's already a good start. You have a double stun, you have a Muradin at the front line. It's a very, very solid start into the draft. Team Blaze, they can now think about Jaina or Khaldor. They might try and go into something... Jaina or Khaldor is definitely going to be one of the heroes, I suppose, and they could still think about using maybe something along the lines of a Sonya here if they really wanted to. But keep that Zagara and also that Sylvanas in mind, because I'm pretty sure that we're going to see the heroes playing a big role in that draft here as well. They're just amazing heroes to push against the Web Weavers or with the Web Weavers, so both of it is very strong and possible. And there is Zagara. She's immediately being taken. And the question that I personally have now is, do we see Sylvanas as a pick or as a ban? Because I can't believe that she's not going to be played here. Together with the Zagara, you can either think to go into a Jaina, or you can still drop that Khaldor, unless, of course, you want to commit to a warrior early on in the draft, which Team Blaze could do, since the BOB Ross Fanclub would have a chance to ban even more warriors out. But they go Kharazim! Alright, after Uther has been taken already, they decide to go into an early Kharazim here on the map to make sure that the BOB Ross Fanclub can't ban out more healers and limit their options here. Kharazim, in this case, could also be played a bit more European style with the Iron Fists on level 1, which Team Liquid loves to do these days, because we're having Tyrande plus Kharazim. Or you can go into the Seasoned Marksman Tyrande, or at least Searing Arrows on level 4, if you want to push a bit more damage out. Then you can do that, since you don't rely so heavily on your heal as you would if you're the sole healer of the team. BOB Ross Fanclub, then again, when it comes to the bans here, they are very likely to ban out a front runner. Maybe the Teriel could be banned out here. They could ban out any kind of tank that they want, because Blaze hasn't really committed to any of this. Depends a bit, of course, what they want to take as well. For them, a Sonya would be good. A Reyna would be very solid here. Seasoned Marksman heroes in general on this map are extremely strong, and you can take those. The advantage that Sonya would have in this setup is that Uther. But they get rid of a tank, as kind of expected, and they decide to get rid of Diablo, because they don't want to run into that Diablo plus Tyrande comp. And it's a very cool ban. We saw that already earlier today, and it makes a whole lot of sense. Muradin is taken by them, so Muradin Tyrande is already not possible for Blaze. ETC is banned out as well, same again. And Diablo is the only one that really remains where you can get stun into stun and follow that up with damage. That's a cool move here on the side of the BOB Ross Fanclub. Team Blaze with the potential ban on Sonya maybe, and there she is, banned out. I'm liking it. The BOB Ross Fanclub with the option to go Sylvanas. They could go into Arena at this point. They can still think about going into a melee assassin later down the road. That Sylvanas would probably help them with the counter pressure against Zagara, because Zagara is going to be very, very strong on that bot lane at the beginning of the game, but later on with the Web Weavers together. And they go for additional pushing presence. They use Leoric first here, who serves a very similar purpose. Not quite the same as Sylvanas, of course, but he still has that lane presence with the Skeleton Swing. He's also a hero that can really help if you want to go deep and, for example, interrupt the hand-in on one of the gems, something along those lines. Arena would probably be a very, very smart move in terms of damage. Khaldor works too, though. I mean, we've expected Khaldor to even be taken earlier, but Khaldor is pretty solid in this scenario. There's no doubt about that. You get a lot of damage out of Khaldor here. You have great zoning power at the turn-in spots with the Phoenix and also with the Flame Strike. And for Team Blaze, we still expect, of course, the front line to be designed right now. Johanna here is strong. Johanna could be taken. We've seen a few more Anuburaks here today, which can make sense if you're going up against that Uther, but Johanna in general has also, of course, with Knight takes pawn, a lot of lane presence, and if you're going into something that tries to push these lanes, that would make a lot of sense to go maybe for Johanna here. The question that they have to answer is, do we want to play a single tank or a double tank? If you only want to play with, let's say, a Johanna or any other kind of tank at the front line, you can maybe even add that Sylvanas here. It's a bit of an old school style if you go into Sylvanas, Zagara, and try to just use both of these heroes to pressure your opponent so much in the early game that you really bully the lanes down, take structures and an advantage in experience. But with an Anubarak here, I very highly doubt that we're going to see a Sylvanas. Him as the only tank would be a risk, even with a double support, and I don't really think that they're going to be too comfortable taking it. Sylvanas Wailing Area, on the other hand, would combo quite well with a Maw if you get that, so you have a lot of potential there, but it's more likely that we're going to see another frontliner for Team Blaze, and it is Johanna. Johanna and Uburak are taken. I like it. The Bob Ross Fanclub could go into that Reyna still. We have also the potential of them maybe using something along the lines of a Falstad, but both of the heroes would be very sweet and a good addition to Kel'Thas with that cooldown-based magic damage that you have there. So if they go into the auto-attack damage, that would probably be the best choice for them. Then again, they could take Sylvanas here. So these three heroes are most likely what they are thinking about right now. They all offer certain advantages and have a couple of disadvantages, and it's basically a matter of personal preference, what exactly you go for. With that Uther, they could still head into a melee assassin as well, so they have that opportunity too. But if they want to go the more traditional style, then it's going to be one of those ranged auto-attack damage dealers that they're going to rely upon. What's it going to be then in the end? That's a question that they have to answer now, and it is a Reyna, as I already said at first. So I like it. A very cool draft. Both teams with a solid setup here for our first game. I'm happy. This is going to be a good one. Tomb of the Spider Queen coming up here at the final of the End of the Storm North America. The first game of the grand final here at the End of the Storm qualifier. It's actually the third time, that the Bob Ross Fanclub has reached the finals. They won twice already, and now they could make it 3 times. 3 out of 3 would be amazing, but they have to go through Team Blaze first, and let's find out if they can make that work. Game number 1 on Tomb of the Spider Queen, and to the left side we have the Bob Ross Fanclub with McIntyre on Leoric. We have Arthelon on Reyna, Erho on Muradin, Zuna on Kel'Thas, and Kenma on Uther. Whereas to the right side of the map, we have Team Blaze, and they are playing this with Jason on Tyrande, Battery on Johanna, Rufflecopter on Zagara, Cladeus on Anubarak, and you on Karazim. And this is going to be a fun one. I'm really liking the draft here for both of the teams, especially when we're looking at what Bob Ross Fanclub has drafted out here. We have them with the expected seasoned marksman on Reyna. He's going to be a menace in the later stage of the game. They have quite a bit of pushing power themselves here with that Leoric and the skeleton swing that he of course uses. Reanimation for him on level 1 is going to be quite powerful. We have Transcendence for Karazim, and we're seeing the Rangers mark for Tyrande, as everybody is in the mid lane. 5-man mid, that's what's going to happen here. We have a bit of a mini skirmish down here between Muradin and Zagara, who apparently the dwarf has the very unthankful task to go up against Zagara at the bot lane. He's not going to be too happy about that, I can already tell you that much. But they are actually going toe-to-toe at this point, and Zuna is moving in and could use that gravity lapse, and there it is. They might get the kill here. Rufflecopter is down. Now that's a bit of a surprise. Didn't really expect that. It seems like he moved to the top to get one of the creep tumors in, and then all of a sudden there was just like the body block from Muradin, and in comes the gravity lapse thanks to Zuna, and they take down the first hero in the game. And now the creep tumor is destroyed as well. Zagara is gonna be pretty salty here. Cladeus, on the other hand, moved in to soak the experience, so it's not going to be too much of a big deal. But that's already a pretty good start into the game for the Bob Ross Fanclub, and they are starting to go for target number 2, Battery. Good stun against Arthelon here. He's currently rocking that Marshall Reyna attempt that they have there. Top lane, that's where Zagara, apparently, Zagara just moved to the top and was just like, she was getting really salty. She's like, yeah, this guy takes down my creep tumors, I don't like him, I want to go in another lane. And so she moved straight up to the top. Normally Zagara is of course a hero that you find mostly at the bot lane, and then the rotation between mid and top happens with the rest of the team. So 4-man rotations to get as many stacks on potential season marksman talents, gathering power talents, sorry, not gathering power, but of course regeneration master and endurable suit talents. Everything that is either based on wave clear and taking down minions, or on the regeneration globes that you have to get. And we have quite a few of those on both sides, actually. We have mostly, well, on the side of the red team, on Team Blaze, it is more or less only a Nubarak that is really relying on that with his Regeneration Master. But when we are looking at the BOB Ross Fanclub, they have Reanimation, they have Seasoned Marksman, there's a Conjurer's Pursuit as well. And of course, it's also kind of important for Khaldor with his Mana Addict here on level 1. Heart and Bones now taken for Leoric on level 4. Both of the teams reach that talent at roughly the same time. It's also that the gem count is nearly identical here. McIntyre by now is shifted down to the bot lane, where he's currently dealing with the Nubarak, as in the mid lane. Whoa, Johanna for a sec was really zoned out, gets stunned even more. And Erho was attempting to drop that stun once again. That didn't really work out though, as we have up to the top lane, Arthelon just waiting here and starting to put some pressure in. It's just getting all of these stacks together, and especially when we're talking about Arthelon in the late game, you should be able to do so much damage there, thanks to Seasoned Marksman. It's one of the best maps for Seasoned Marksman in general. It's not really unheard of to see like 30 stacks, or sorry, 60 stacks at the end of the game. And that's, of course, like absolutely brutal power that you have with your auto attacks, especially once the Nexus Frenzy is part of your talent build. We have Conviction taken and Eternal... No, sorry, no Conviction. Eternal Retaliation after the Knight takes Pawn. Conviction might be the level 7 talent. If it's not going to be Battle Momentum, one of the two will be taken for sure. We have even on Karazim now a Healing Ward over the Protective Shield. The Blind did not really do too much. Zuna still got the turn in, and they have 23 gems already turned in. Still the pressure up at the top lane. Down to the bottom lane, not really having too much happening here. McIntyre and Khaldios with more or less stalemate. And Nubarak pushes that in a bit, but now Jason is actually taking over, since they realize they need the tank up at the top to fight here. But for a second, it looked like Khaldor might be actually taken out here, or at least stunned out. If Kenma or Zuna go in with a Gravity Lapse or a stun with the Justice, then you have a bit of a problem. You can always try and burrow charge away, but the mid lane is in trouble on the other hand, as again Johanna has to retreat. So you can really tell that we haven't really seen too much in terms of kills. It was only the initial one against Zagara. But especially when we're talking about Team Blaze, they have quite a bit of respect of what's going on the map here. They have good vision thanks to Zagara. And again, the attempted kill against Battery, and Johanna with the Iron Skin just barely getting away there. But that's exactly what I've been talking about. The respect that we're seeing of Team Blaze. They are going always, they're always a little, they're fast to retreat, let's just put it like this. They know that it's going to be tricky for them to really like fight these fights just yet, so they're waiting it out a bit. Erho has to jump though, and once again level 7 talents for both the teams. Focus attack, by the way, the talent that we're seeing on the side of Tyrande, so she's going to get some extra damage in. Arthelon is still up at the top. Turn-in attempt here once more by Battery, but so far every single turn-in attempt has been negated, now interrupted by the BOB Ross Fanclub. And they're running this now with a Ghastly Reach, a talent that we see nearly exclusively on the European server over the potential alternatives that he can go for with Leoric. We have also now Conviction, who was a little bit early, jumping the gun there on the level 7 talent, but Johanna still went for it. And after we saw the Legion of Beetles, we have now the Leeching Scarabs on level 7 with the Echo of Heaven for Muradin, and of course Zagara is, the Echo of Heaven of course for Karazim. And Zagara is currently heading straight into the Endless Creep. The blue Web Weavers are descending, and very nice control in the game that we are seeing from the BOB Ross Fanclub at this point. They have, of course, a problem with all the vision that Zagara is giving the opponent's team, but we're still in a spot where these Web Weavers are going to start to do a lot of work. Currently down at the bot lane, Khaldor is there, has to be back. Very unfortunate timing for that, to be honest, because right now we have Web Weavers already approaching every single gate that we see here. And at the top lane, yep, there's the first Web Weaver. Going to be bursting down very fast thanks to Zagara, but the mid lane, that's where the effort is currently put in on the side of the blue team. So they are going to drop these towers super quick, and Leoric is already attempting to do the exact same thing down to the bot lane. McIntyre with a kick here and needs to move away for now. But still, they have level 9, they still push the mid lane, and they're actually going very deep here. Already putting a lot of damage onto that fort as well. Level 10s are going to hit quite soon. Well, it's one level away. But the Web Weaver still pushing a bit more damage in. Already the jump out. Oh, so low, but Kenma is helping him out here with the Luther. We have Rufflecopter, of course, moving away down to the bot lane. There's McIntyre again, going for the skeleton swing once more. Boom. Straight for the next tower. Level 9 versus 9. No more kills there. But keep in mind that we, of course, have quite a lot of gems on the side of the Team Blaze, and they're going to try to turn these in now. but McIntyre drops the tower at the bot lane. He can move away with the Wraith Walk, as now Jason is moving in on Tyrande. And yep, Wraith walks away, no problem for him. And up to the top lane, still no turn-ins. Good stun against Zagara. Once again, moving in Zuna with a bit more damage, and Roflacopter just barely escaping this one. And that's all that they have to do. We could actually see in this scenario later on level 13 maybe a Burning Rage on Muradin, because they are really starting to have some trouble with all of these creep tumors on the map. And if they get Burning Rage on one of their heroes, on Muradin for example, they could really take them down quite easily. Level 10s are now in play. Not quite sure what that Divine Shield was supposed to do on Kenma. I actually think it was a misclick. I can't believe that that was intentional for a second. He probably just like alt-clicked by accident. But yeah, that Divine Shield was a little bit awkward, and nothing more than that. We have level 10s for both of the teams as the Web Weavers are descending, and that's of course now with Entomb. We're seeing also a big fight here, and they go for Arthalon and they take him down. Arthalon is dead, and that was Blessed Shield. We also saw Shadow Stalk being used on Tyrande, and here comes the 7-sided strike, and Leoric might fall. Yes, the dash by Karazim, well played. Dashes in, takes him down, and that's a double kill against the BOB Ross Fanclub. Well played here. Top lane, Karazim already taking down the first Web Weaver. At the bot lane, we're seeing the exact same thing happening. But the mid lane, that's really the center of attention right now for Team Blaze. They take down the first fort, and this is a great start for them right now. They lost the first Web Weaver, but now that second wave did a whole lot of damage, especially with that nice double kill that they got in the mid lane. They take a lead. Good Entomb, but the problem is they don't have the follow-up damage to really run down a hero or two. Now Kenma was also stunned out for a second, didn't really have any consequences. But this is a bit of an awkward position right now for the BOB Ross Fanclub. Definitely not the dominant position that they were hoping for at the beginning of the match. We have level 11 versus level 11. We have still 68 gems, 68 versus 67, and the teams are both trying to turn in right now for the next Web Weaver wave. The fort in the mid lane, of course, has been damaged earlier on already quite significantly, so if they get a free shot at that, they will take it. And they have also the Hyperion that they could use for that. But for now, it's just stuns at the bottom turn-in spot. Both teams are focusing on it. McIntyre, with the Hardened Bones moving away, gets a Divine Shield here. Emma is really fast on those. There's knock-up against Leoric. He's moving away, and he could actually die. A nice Entomb, and the kill against Anubarak. Well played. We have also Karazim taken out, and they go straight in again for Johanna. Nearly getting the kill, but the stun against Zagara. They're actually trying to go for both. Good stun from Tyrande might actually save Battery's life, but Zagara is already down, and they are going to try to cut Battery off now too. McIntyre's on the way, Zuna as well. Are they going to get the gravity lapse? And no, Zuna doesn't even try. But they have now the potential to go for a kill of the keep of the fort in the mid lane, and they also get that turn in, of course. So already Leoric trying to push these waves back. We have level 12 versus level 12. 4 kills against 2. They got the double kill just now. That was super important. And at least we're having, for now, the Web Weavers descending again. Bot lane, Kenma is already trying to deplete the tower and take that down. And Zuna is helping him out with it. 28 seconds until we have Divine Shield ready again. And everybody is just rotating once more. Already the attempt to take down these creep tumors. And I really feel that we're going to see on level 13 one Burning Rage. Somebody has to take it, just to make sure that they can deny the vision of their opponents. Web Weavers are already attacked here, but the extra talent, and there is the Burning Rage on Muradin. That was kind of obvious that it would happen. We have Chain Bombs now also used. The fort at the mid lane has actually survived, and down to the bot lane now we are seeing another one taken out. This one they can't save. There's 4 heroes ready for it. Leoric is starting to rotate as well, and now with the level 13 talent, of course, they could even head into the mid lane and try and destroy another one. We have on level 13 the Crushing Hope for Leoric. We're also seeing the Giant Killer, which was more or less a no-brainer for Reyna. We have seen a few of those penetrating round builds just recently emerge a lot with the double barreled into Bullseye, but if you're playing against this setup, it makes of course sense to take as much advantage of the seasoned marksman stacks as we can, and Giant Killer is really your friend then. Once again, the Shrink Ray is being used. Both of the teams now with level 13 talents, and the commitment. 7-sided strike used Johanna down, and this is the BOB Ross Fanclub showing no mercy and moving again. The Maw was decent, hitting 2 of them, but now they go for the well. Hyperion has been used too, and they are not done just yet. They are starting to jump in again. We have a double Burning Rage on the side of Team Blaze, but it doesn't really help them too much. Divine Shield on Erho keeps him alive, and now his trade is about to be activated. He's getting a lot of hit points back already as we speak. Level 14, nearly 15 against 13, and they could even try and steal a few of the camps away. But a good stun from Tyrande. Jason is trying to be a bit annoying, and he succeeded. Yeah, that stun was just like dropping one of the targets down. The problem, of course, is that there are still quite a few gems that the BOB Ross Fanclub can turn in now. And with Arthalon collecting even more at the top lane, they might succeed in getting another Web Weaver wave before their opponent is ready for it. They need 40, and they actually are going to have those once that Arthalon is done with that wave. So if they turn in everything that they have, that's going to be an easy Web Weaver wave for them. And that would be a disaster for Team Blaze. I mean, Blaze is currently still waiting for an opportunity to maybe take a hero down there or gain a bit of the map control back. But that upper turn-in spot, for example, is completely empty. There's only Zagara Screed Tumors that give them a bit of vision, but we have McIntyre down here already waiting for just somebody to try and turn in, and he sees everything that's happening here, moves in, skeleton swings, and up at the top the turn-in is now happening, and that's going to be another Web Weaver wave for the blue team. Already the move back by Leoric with the Wraith Walk, but this should really conclude things here. Erho with the attempted turn gets stunned out though, but still they are zoning for him and he is completing the turn in any second, and that's a blue Web Weaver wave. Already the Entomb used to drop battery and they get their kill against Johanna again. The Maw is not doing any, well, the Maw was actually great and it gets 3 heroes, but it's not helping Johanna at all. So it's again a 5 versus 4 and we're talking level 16 talents at this point. With now Bullseye taken, Arcane Barrier, Stone Form, we have the Renewed Swing after the Ghastly Reach on level 7, and the Benediction has now been chosen too. This is a great move here again. The BOB Ross Fanclub is 1.5 levels ahead at this point. We are in the first game of the best of 3 series at the North America tournament at the grand final, and with the Web Weavers they are starting to threaten the keeps now. They move towards the mid lane. Top lane Fort is still alive, but they are already pressuring that with the next Web Weaver wave. And at this point, we're having 6 kills against 2, 20 gems against 38. A lot of the heroes are dead and dying here. And BOB Ross, they are starting to push in now. They want to rival Cloud9 on the North American server, and they are showcasing their strength in every single Qualifier tournament that they play these days. Tyrande is down, and they are starting to move in again. They drop the towers here, and they might even succeed in dropping the keep, but they have to be careful. They're all extremely low on hit points, and Uther is having a hard time keeping them alive. But for now, they drop even more hit points over here, and they are really committing to the keep, and it looks like they're going to get it. Ruffle copped on a Zagara is trying to prevent it from going down, but it's already a bit too late. Top Fort has also been eliminated, and down to the bot lane we're seeing half HP dropped on the keep now as well. Very well played here by the BOB Ross Fanclub. They are in a very strong position at this point. Level 18 nearly for them. They have 30 gems. Erho is actually looking at the boss. Not really going for the throw pit just yet. Or are they? They actually are. They actually are. They go for the throw pit, but they just double check and move back then. So they're not actually committing to it, and that would have been a bit of a weird choice considering that their opponent's team is close to level 16 and will get the extra talent any second right now. So we have at this point them just waiting, trying to buy a bit more time so that they fight on even talents. And there's the level 16 now for them with Brood Expansion after Mutalisk. We have also the True Shot Aura taken on Tyrande, doing Night Elf things here. With imposing presence for Johanna, and well, she has been attacked quite a bit. And Ubarak can now think about what he wants to go for, imposing presence or blood for blood. They're seeing Circle of Life for Karazim, and that is his attempt to keep his allies alive. He has actually been putting out quite decent numbers. Blood for blood now for Anubarak. And talking numbers in general, I mean, if you want to have a quick look at what we are looking here at this point, we have in terms of heals 31,000 against 36,000, so pretty even numbers still on the 2 healers. But when we're looking at the damage charts, then it's of course a completely different picture. Zagara with a 37,000 doing solid work, but Kelthas is on the exact same level, and we have Reyna just increasing his damage by the minute. He's at 37,000 damage himself now, and with every single season marksman stack that he gets, that increases. And Ubarak blown to pieces. All the gems lost. Great Maw once again. An amazing Maw, but Arthalon already going straight with the Hyperion, zoning the opponent out. Divine Shield has been used on Zuna, and he gravity lapses Karazim, and now they're just going for kill after kill after kill. A triple kill already. Great Entomb. Zagara down, and that's GG as we have a full team wipe, and they don't even need to go for the keep. And why would they? Just must move past it. They go straight for the core, and with a 3-level lead, the BOB Ross Fanclub is going to take game number 1. They're going to win here on Tomb of the Spider Queen. They eliminate Team Blaze. So they will have to win one more map if they want to win the best of 3 series here. But that was a very impressive performance here once again by the BOB Ross Fanclub. Well played. and they are successful on Tomb of the Spider Queen in our first map at the grand final, actually, of the North America qualifier for Enter the Storm. Alright everybody, game number 2, we have the BOB Ross Fanclub in the 1-0 lead against Team Blaze here at the End of the Storm North America qualifier in the finals. So if they take the next map, then they will have won the entire thing. Dragonshire is now the map choice of Team Blaze, and Tacita has been banned out by the BOB Ross Fanclub. So Blaze has the opportunity to go, maybe even, I don't want to call it a bullshit ban, but I hope that they're going to ban out something like a Khaldor or Tyrande, because if they don't ban that, then they're going to get at least one of the two. So if you have the second ban and your opponent banned out something like Tacita that is strong, but not necessarily a full high priority, then you're also trying to think about, okay, what can they take and what does that leave us with? So they go for ETC, and that of course denies already the ETC and Divine Shield combo. BOB Ross Fanclub can go into a Tyrande, or they can go into a Khaldor, and it leaves the other hero for Blaze, plus the potential Uther. So that's actually like a very, very smart start into the draft for both of the teams, and that will give us pretty cool heroes to deal with. So let's see what BOB Ross Fanclub actually prioritizes. Is it going to be the damage from the Khaldor? Is it going to be the Tyrande? Or are we going to see something completely different, like, for example, for Team Blaze and early Zagara right now? There's a Tyrande. We could see now that Khaldor. There's the Uther. There's a Zagara to consider as well. A lot of very strong heroes that we could see at this point. And depending on the composition that they play, they might even try to play with the Jaina there, even though in the last few games we have seen players move again more towards that Khaldor for very good reason. But on this map, again, heroes that push lanes really fast can be very strong because you get easier access to those shrines and you get more control over the Dragon Knight. Dragonshire is also a very good map for Falstad and for Brightwing, things to be considered here as well. There's the Zagara, just talked about her. And Hachi, hey dude, how you doing? Look at that. How is Alaska doing, my friend?
Khaldor, your biceps are showing.
I apologize. I'm going to wear long sleeves the next time. Muradin and Zagara. But I was just mentioning Zagara. And she's just so strong here. Once again, you can play at the bot lane. You can go solo top, which is oftentimes the case. And just having that vision is amazing, but the lane push for Zagara, she can easily hold a shrine on her own if the opponent doesn't commit 2 heroes to count down her out. Muradin as a solo frontliner is also amazing. The BOB Ross Fanclub, they have a few options with a Uther, for example. There he is. Could go into a Sonya, could drop a Falstad here, a Khaldor. They have so many options of what they can actually play with it. You try to combo something off Tyrande, of course, and that's what they have to think about now as well. If you get the extra damage in, you could, for example, think about a Jaina here. If you want to have another hero, then especially that Diablo is going to make sense later on and during the draft. But first of all, of course, you need some damage. And as I just said, Khaldor plus Uther would be a nice comp. That's exactly what they're using here. And now we're going into the bans. And at this point, Blaze is most likely thinking about maybe doing the same thing that the BOB Ross Fanclub did in the last game and ban out Diablo. Why would that be a good ban? Because we have aggressive roaming in the early game with the Tyrande and Diablo composition trying to just kill targets. And Muradin and ETC are not longer an option for the BOB Ross Fanclub, so Diablo is one of the few heroes that would really fit the bill here, and therefore we might see a ban on him. If you don't ban out Diablo, you still have other heroes that are extremely strong with this setup that you could try and get rid of, as Sonya, for example, but then again, yeah, there's the Sonya ban, so they allow Diablo for now. We have for the BOB Ross Fanclub, it's a little bit different. I mean, right now you have to really think what can be comboed off that Zagara. You might actually even think about banning out a Sylvanas here. Malfurion with the roots, not quite sure if he has really the priority for BOB Ross that they would ban him out, but they get rid of the Jaina instead. She can of course combo her damage off Zagara's more and also Muradin's stun. So in this case they just don't want to deal with all that burst now, saying, alright, screw that, let's get Jaina out of the picture now and deal with the rest later. Team Blaze. Now this is where it starts to become extremely interesting, at least for me, because I still expect that Diablo might be something that the BOB Ross Fanclub is going to play. And Blaze decided to ban out Sonya instead of a Diablo. I highly doubt that they are going to pick Diablo here, but they could. Muradin plus Diablo is a very aggressive comp, and it works. So you can actually use that if you want to. And in this case, with the setup that they have, they could also just simply say, listen up, we need something else. First of all, we need a heal. They could go Karazim or into Malfurion. Malfurion would work well with the Zagara. They go into that Zeratul. Now that is starting to become extremely interesting. A Zeratul to bully the backline a little bit, and especially the potential gathering power that we could see here is also something that is of course going to be strong. Now that is going to be a fun one. We have Blaze still with a healer. They need one. They could go, as I said, into a Malfurion to combo that root off with the Zagaras more. And now that we have a Zeratul in the mix, things are starting to become a bit interesting, because that is really shifting the entire draft. And that means that, well, a bit of range damage would still be nice. I don't think that you're only relying on Zagara here. I really feel that we're going to see Muradin as a solo tank in this particular setup for them now. And there is the Karazim for the heals. All right, I'm liking it. Not going into Malfurion. I personally prefer that Karazim, so I really like the choice. The BOB Ross Fanclub, I can see them with a Diablo, but then again, if they play a Diablo, I feel they should add also maybe a Tyrael. Tyrael plus Diablo would be quite nice for them at this point. Karazim, by the way, has also, of course, a couple of detection spells that can be used. I don't think that Blaze took it because of that, because I really feel that it's more of a Team Liquid thing, adding Uther plus Karazim and playing Karazim as a melee assassin damage dealer type with Iron Fists on level 1, and then a focus on the rest of the Dashing Strike talents. But yeah. So right now, the BOB Ross Fanclub could go into something along the side of Tyrael, Diablo, if they want to use the Tyrande Diablo comp for the aggression and the zoning on the map. If they don't, they still have other options of what they can use. Leoric, first of all, and what is it going to be all the last draft? Is it going to be the aggressive roaming with Diablo, Uther, Tyrande, Kel'Thas, trying to get these early game picks in? Or are they playing it a little bit more, I don't even want to call it standard, just like a little bit safer here, trying to just rely on one heavy frontliner next to Leoric that can help out with this. And Leoric, of course, can be pretty nice against Zagara up at the top lane for quite some time. But yeah, I'm liking this draft already. This is good fun. This is pretty sweet to see these drafts now coming to their last pick and what the teams are really going to try and do in strategy. So it is a Kerrigan, all right. No Diablo, but a Kerrigan for the stuns as well. And that is, of course, also pretty solid. Team Blaze at this point with their last pick. And I am very, very curious to see what that's going to be. Can they combo something of that Zeratul now as well? Who are they going to pick here? They would have probably loved to go into a bit of additional sustain even, and it's an Abathur. It's beautiful. I like it. I'll absolutely love it. This is great. Guys, this is going to be so good. We're having an Abathur together with a Zeratul, a Zagara in there, pushing power on the lanes. Not really the hero that you normally see on Dragonshire, but we've seen a few of the teams already do like so much work with the double Zeratul. Let's find out what they can do here. BOB Ross Fanclub is in the lead against Team Blaze, and we're going to find out together now who's going to take the best of 3 in the series. The second map in the best of 3 series, everybody, is Dragonshire, and we have the BOB Ross Fanclub in the 1-0 lead against Team Blaze. To the left side of the map, we have them starting with McIntyre on Kerrigan, with Arthalon on Tyrande. We see Kenma on Uther, Zuna on Kel'Thas, and Erho is playing Leoric for the team. They have the lead once again, and if they win one of the next 2 maps, then they will have taken 3 tournaments. They participated in 3 tournaments, and that would put them 3 out of 3, which would be an incredible record. With C9 currently committed to the league in China, these guys are definitely the hottest team in North America at this point. To the right side of the map, we are of course seeing now Team Blaze with Jason on Abathur. We have Cladeus on Zeratul, Rufflecopter on Zagara, Battery on Muradin, and we have you on Karazim. A pretty sick setup here in general. I mean, that commitment to Zeratul here too is a very interesting one, and Zeratul is being played currently also together with that Abathur, which makes him very, very dangerous. But as it is, the game has started with a bit of a problem with the disconnect, but that has already been resolved, as you can see. We're having as the level 1 talent Kerrigan going straight into their Ravage talents for the extra heals with the siphoning impact. We are seeing the Ranger's Mark, we have Conjurer's Pursuit, and also next to that, of course, the Reanimation and the Mana Addict. And Abathur is going for now, at least on level 1, into that Locust build, so we are probably going to see him on level 13 and level 16 commit to that build as well. With the rest, we are going to find out what they're going to do. Break engagement already at the bot lane, thanks to the BOB Ross Fanclub. They want to have the tower. They don't get it yet, though. But we have Zeratul moving in with a good cleave against Kerrigan and Zuna. And look at all these bombs all over the place. Abathur is doing very solid work here. No kills just yet, but already the position up at the top lane for Zagara. She's, of course, going to try and solidify her spot there with a few creep tumors, at least in the mid lane. Just like spreading them all over the map. But over here, it's very important to have the vision so that she's a bit safer against the potential roaming that we are going to see for sure on the side of BOB Ross. Since they are running this with a lot of stuns. I mean, just look at Kerrigan alone. Kerrigan together with an Uther, with a Tyrande, and also that Kalthas with the Gravity Labs are just amazing heroes to roam the map right now and try to go for a few kills. And it's going to be very difficult to really negate all of that. Apparently someone can't use his spells. Now that's a new one. That is one of the things that I haven't heard so far, but that's a very interesting bug indeed. It's actually pretty good for us because it gives us an opportunity to talk a little bit about what's going on right now. Jason has found a very interesting spot here. We're currently actually seeing him here, like, at the edge, so I'm not quite sure why he's not really committed to this. I mean, it's not like the Zeratul is on the opponent's team. They are running the Zeratul right here. So the thing about Kerrigan is that she will be trying to just take down Zagara. She's going to try and jump straight into, like, Muradin, for example, but the problem is he can always jump away. So the biggest target for Kerrigan right now and the entire rotation is definitely Rufflecopter up at the top with his Zagara. He needs to be super careful. And Zagara is one of the best laning heroes in general, but it's really important for her now to get those creep tumors everywhere so that she can be extremely safe and guarantee that nobody is trying to flank her and take her down, because she will be the priority attack target for the entire BOB Ross Fanclub. We're seeing them at this point with Erho down at the bot lane, so Leoric is currently just like rotating a bit, but it's very likely that later on in the game he's going to try and counteract Zagara's pressure at the top, because he has still that skeleton swing, and even after the nerfs that Blizzard has dished out to the talent, it's still a very solid one. At the bot lane, on the other hand, Battery is the only one who's trying to push this one back. He went for the Thunderclap build with the Reverberation taken, and considering the heroes that we see there, it's pretty normal actually. We have a very few Muradin players these days that commit to a Stormbolt build, even though on certain maps it can be the better, or in certain, not only on certain maps, against certain compositions, it can definitely be the better one. Players are already ready and back to business. We have Zeratul going for the Regeneration Master, by the way, for the additional sustain that he has there. And let's find out what he can do against Leoric down here. Can probably put a bit of pressure in, but I highly doubt that he's going to be able to really take the target down. Wraith Walk already being utilized immediately. Arrow is not risking anything. And as I mentioned, up at the top lane, the pressure against Zagara. And of course, Jason is ready. He knows that Zagara is going to have a tough time, and that's why he's ready with a symbiote immediately and jumps in. But as predicted, she is the target that they are trying to drop. And again, the stun, and this time there's no escape. It's 4 heroes, and he shouldn't even move out at this point. So, very well done. We have the first kill, and therefore also the first tower. And Jason is sitting here with his pajamas, and he's just like, well, duh, what am I going to do now? Bot lane, Erho claims one of the shrines, and now there's of course an opportunity for the BOB Ross Fanclub to maybe even take down another hero. Abathur is the only one up at the top lane, but everybody else is starting to rotate down here, where we're seeing the battle between Erho and Battery. And of course now the Drain Hope can be used as well. Cladeus on the other hand is starting to go in with a Zeratul Abathur combo, and that is dropping a lot of the hit points that we're having on Leoric. So he needs to be very careful about how he's going to approach the bot lane, especially that shrine. But the top lane is being attacked again, and double jump and the lockdown, but nobody to follow it up. Did you just see that? How he used the Ravage talent with a clean kill, jumped in and from one target to another to get close enough to Zagara to get that stun combo in? That was really well done. That was beautiful. I'm loving it. I want to see more of that. We have the Pierce taken, which is great, of course, to make sure that the opponent does not get the Dragonite. You can like throw that into the middle once that they have the 2 shrines and make sure that you are cancelling out the channel. On level 4, we see the Vampiric Strike with the 25% of the damage that you are trying to heal. Very cool talent to see, actually. Like, it's a lot of the sustain that we're having on Zeratul right now. And considering the stuns and everything that is currently on the opponent's setup, I really like it quite a bit. He is going to get his damage in eventually. One of the things, of course, that he gave up for this one is Gathering Power. And the new Gathering Power is a very interesting talent. It's absolutely amazing. I mean, we've seen a few of the Nova players already with Gathering Power, and once they reach like 20-30% extra damage, it is out of this world how much damage they can dish out in just a few seconds. So Gathering Power is actually pretty much amazing. but it's a very, very high-risk talent, since if you die in the late game and you lose all of the stacks that you have been trying to build up, then you are basically useless for a long period of time. So it's very, very risky to go for such a gathering power build. But of course, high risk or a high reward, sometimes you just have to go for it. Leoric dying down to the bot lane. Don't worry, he's gonna be back soon. He has still that reanimation talent level 1, and with that trade, he's going to be back on the lane in just a few seconds, so he's not even going to lose out on too much experience. Losing 2-3 minions on the other hand, but that's already about it. Top lane pressure still, and that wall is already gone, and level 7 is now nearly ready for Team BOB Ross Fanclub, and they are trying to go and jump another target soon enough. Follow through also for Zeratul, that's extra damage for him. As we speak, we're seeing also the Vile Nest after the Prolific Dispersal used for Abathur. And I'm pretty curious to see how Abathur is going to run this in the late game. I expect him to go for the Ultimate Evolution and try to go for the double Zeratul a couple of times. We've seen a few backdoor attempts with that, and that actually really worked well. But the bot lane is under a ton of pressure. I mean, Arrow is alone against 2. Then again, we're having already the move into the mid lane where the tower is nearly down. And yeah, Karazim moved away immediately. He was just like, okay, screw that. Like, by the way, the Holy Fire. That works to help. That actually helps to reveal Zeratul. If he gets too close to Uther, he's going to be affected by that too. And there comes again the jump to one of the locusts by Karazim, but McIntyre is going for the towers now in the stuns. We have Zagara moving in, great stun combo. The follow-up with Tyrande and the potential kill. But McIntyre is about to die. He needs to jump away here. And that's not going to happen. So a great kill against Zagara. And somehow Zeratul lived. God knows how he did that. We have now battle momentum taken, not only on Tyrande, but also on Kerrigan. And the cool thing about the battle momentum on Tyrande and also the Empowered level 1, which in this case we don't see, is that it really, both of these talents reduce the cooldown on all of your abilities. It's not only that Empower reduces the cooldown on the Owl itself, but it's also the heal, which is one of the reasons why a lot of the healing Tyrandas go for the same talent, for Empower on level 1, so that they can get more of those overflowing lights after level 13 out. Now we have the Dragon Knight. Wow, that was a quick capture on the Dragon Knight. Team Blaze is taking the first one here. Ghastly Reach, no Paralyzing Rage has been taken on the level 7 talent for the Auric. And keep in mind that we also now have Endless Creep, so that's even more vision on the map. Once again, McIntyre is just jumping from one target to another the entire time here. Zuna at the top lane has been... it has actually eaten a lot of damage here, but Team Blaze is now starting to move in. They have 2 kills against 1. Kind of liking it. I still have to go over that once again because I really feel that during the battle earlier we didn't really get the opportunity to talk about it. I'm liking that level 7 talent here a lot. You don't need a cleanse in this case, and the Holy Fire is helping you with the pressure on the lanes. It helps you to push back heroes. It helps you to push back lanes. Like the wave clear in general is just so much better, and it's great against Zeratul as well, which is incredibly important here, that you have something that can really reveal him, since there's no Tasta around or anything else. Oh, great attempt to take down the target down here, but already Yui getting away. 7-sided strike used in the last second. He's able to dash away. His cooldowns were ready once again, and now the rotations are happening. Both of them are going to jump in for the kill, and Zeratul is dead first, but we have a kill against Tyrande now too. They're trying to go into the Phoenix, and Karazim is nearly dead, but Zuna is dying. That Phoenix was in the wrong spot. They could have gotten a kill out of it, but in this case it doesn't work out. Once again, the clone eliminated, but we have now the rogue abilities fully committed to with the Divine Shield. We have also the Maelstrom. There is the Entomb, Phoenix, and of course we're seeing Tyrande with a healing ult as well. Down to the bot lane on the other hand, we have now Avatar more. We have also the Void Prism as the abilities with an Ultimate Evolution on top of all of that, and the 7-sided strike that we've seen several times now already in this game. A slight lead for Team Blaze, inexperienced still, but the top lane, Arthalon, is pushing it back. It was a bit of an unfortunate fight for the BOB Ross Fanclub, to be honest, especially when we saw that Phoenix committed by Zuna. He was expecting everybody to move to the top, so he positioned the Phoenix right over here. If he would have gone a little bit farther down, the Phoenix would have done damage throughout the entire fight and potentially dropped at least Karazim, maybe even more than that. Another thing, by the way, where the talent on level 7 for Uther is going to help the team a lot is he can, of course, reveal also the creep tumors on the map. And if you consider how much we already see... Oh, Uther can mine trouble! And he's going to fall, isn't he? Yes, he is. And there's even Yui now committing to the 7-sided strike again. So Uther with his level 7 talent can also help out taking down the creep tumors that Zagara has been putting all over the map, and that's of course incredibly important if you think about how much of the map is already revealed to Zagara. I mean, take a look real quickly up at the creep here. As Arrow is attacked, I mean, we have creep everywhere for Zagara. She controls the entire upper part of the map, and that is incredible. It gives the team so much control over the top lane and also the jungle between top and middle, so it's absolutely great. Arthalon and McIntyre are currently still holding the middle, and you can really tell that BOB Ross Fanclub is struggling there. They lose Khaldor again. That's Zuna dying once more, and that's 6 kills against 2, level 13 versus level 12. Here come the talents in with the Bombard strain on Abathur. And we are seeing also Assassin's Blade taken. Assassin's Blade on level 13. So we have a bit of a changed build on Zeratul in general. Not even on the level 4 talent alone, but also with level 13 right now. So going for more damage. And there is Zeratul in the Dragonite. That's the second one that we're seeing for Team Blaze. They're really starting to do some solid work here against the BOB Ross Fanclub. And I think that Team in Blue was caught a bit off guard, because they have a pretty solid draft and they expect this to go way different. They're starting to burst the Dragonite, and they should, but still, this is a very tricky spot for them. Starting a comeback here would have to happen soon for them to really make some moves. I mean, so far, not a single fort has been taken out, so when we're talking structures, then it's not really a problem. It's just like an experience thing than anything else. But yeah, right now Zeratul is of course going to become a massive problem as well. We have up at the top lane, Khaldor is still on his Dragonite, and he can do the extra damage against the structures now. He's going to try and go for the fort, but the level 13 talent release is going to be ready very, very soon now also for the opponent's team. And there it is. Shrink Ray, Burning Rage on Leoric. He also wants to help with all those creep tumors. Radius is dropping, but Zeratul jumps away down to the bot lane. Battery is there. Up at the top, the attempted stun. Shrink Ray. Oh, Void Prison. He moves in, gets stunned once, and no escape. Sorry, Zeratul, but they really hate you. Yes, they do. They take him down, and to the bot lane with a Wraith Walk, we see Arrow escape from this situation. A double Shrink Ray, by the way. No overflowing light for Tyrande. Double Shrink Ray it is, and they go for Rufflecopter, and the Owl to the face is eliminating Zagara. Great play here, and with the level 13 chain bombs, they are starting to really get some damage in, but it's still a level that they are behind, but the BOB Ross Fanclub is definitely starting to show their teeth now. So level 14 versus 15, mid lane pressure against Air, who Wraith walked away. And now we have, of course, 2 heroes that have some area damage that they can use quite easily with the Burning Rage on 13 or Uther with his level 7 talent that they can finally use to take these creep tumors down and maybe get a bit of the vision on the map back, because that has been very annoying. There's another creep tumor that has to be eliminated. Erho is doing his thing, and just look at the experience. It's actually starting to really even out once again. So we have everybody moving around, taking down creep tumors, limiting vision, eating those Abathum bombs as well, those mines, whereas we are now seeing the opponent's team just trying to defend, because there's so many camps that are currently pushing in the wave or the lanes that we are having that happening as we speak. So up at the top, that's exactly what's currently happening here. We have level 15 versus, nearly level 16 at this point. Very close, actually. And, well, down to the bot lane, as you can see right now, we're still seeing Arthalon and McIntyre starting to rotate again. The next shrines have already been announced. We're seeing the 16 talents now in play for Blaze. Abathur moving back, and he, of course, already used the Locust Brood. Up at the top lane, they're starting to push in quite heavily against the fort here. It's great experience for them. And we have, of course, more camps now even taken. So right now, that's exactly what happened here. Up to the top lane, Arthalon is starting to rotate in. But we have now them very close to 16 as well. And those even talents is what they're currently aiming for. The Rending Cleave on 16 for Zeratul. So a bit of an adjustment with the build. We've been talking about it earlier. Circle of Life and Stone Form. And let's find out what team BOB Ross is going to take on level 16, because they really need something. I like the adjustments that they made so far with their builds. And on level 16 at least, we have pretty normal talents. The one thing that I want to point out is that Kerrigan did not go for her shield talents on level 13 and 16, which she could have and oftentimes does, but instead it's Eviscerate for the extra range on the Ravage. And they're going for Zeratul. Claudius is trying to get away, and he is going to escape. Oh, what? So close. He nearly escaped. Well, he escaped, but then he nearly died. McIntyre even committing to the Maelstrom, but he was in the Void Prism, and they are starting to jump in now against Karazim, and he is going to lock down, but the Dragon Knight, he dashes away. They're trying to lock down Zeratul, and again the Owl is nearly killing him, but not quite. They can take the towers, but they lost the Dragonite in the meantime. Consume Vitality over the renewed swing with a Ghastly Reach. We oftentimes see the second baseball bat strike, the second skeleton swing, but right now it's Consume Vitality instead. And as you can see here, Battery is getting locked down once again. But there's Dragonites. It's the third Dragonite for them, if I'm not mistaken. 3 Dragonites in a row that they were able to claim now. They have the lead in experience, but it's a very tiny one. I mean, it's not even an entire level that they can rely upon at this point. 6 kills against 4. But the rotations against the Dragonite again. Zeratul escaping twice, just barely. And even Karazim dashing away to Zeratul. But now the Dragonite is getting stunned out. Well, Athlon was a little bit too late with his Lunar Blaze there. Still, pretty decent what they're doing. They are level behind now again. Level 17 versus 18. But this is a pretty cool game regardless. Zagara is working against Uther with his level 7 talent and the Burning Rage on level 13 for Leoric. And she is working overtime. Even though these 2 bad boys are trying to drop every single one of the creep tumors that are placed down, and Rofocopter is just at it the entire time, dropping one after another, making sure that he gets maximum vision on the map for his team. And it's so difficult. Just look at BOB Ross. They're always trying to move in somewhere, but there's the vision that is granted by the Abathur Mines and also the creep tumors, and it's so tricky for them. Here comes the engagement already. Void Prism has been used. Divine Shield, the copy on Zeratul, and they're trying to drop it immediately, and they are going to get that wish granted. Down it goes. So now it's Karazim that dies. Karazim is dead, and Zagara is most likely going to drop as well. Arrow is already trying to move in and take her down. Oh my god, he doesn't hit her. And now McIntyre was trying to go in, but those mines on Abathur are everywhere. They're so annoying. Zagara escapes with nearly no hit points. She got hit by the owl actually, but doesn't even die to that. Up to the top on the other hand, it's Zeratul that they're going to go for. There is the blink in the last second. Zuna, they want him. They might get him. Yeah, it's already the dodge against the Flame Strike. They know exactly where he is. The owl hits home and the Gravity Lapse doesn't, but they're going in again. They're trying to get a kill out of this. But they really, really, really hate this Zeratul, don't they? They commit full time to take it down. Very well done. Bottom lane also a bit of pressure now thanks to the 2 Siege Giants, and we see Zuna already rotating down to the bottom. He needs to well up anyways. Kenma is already on the camp. 18 versus 19. This game is great. I'm loving it. 6 kills against 6. The teams are aiming for level 20 right now. The builds, you can see them again. Of course, we're going to take a look at the stats too. Level 20 is so close for Team Blaze now. They're down 1 game in the series. If they lose here, then it's over for them. Then we have BOB Ross winning another North America qualifier at the end of the storm. Talents here in general, damage also dished out, 3 kills against Zeratul. He's not having a fun time here, and it's one of the reasons why he didn't even attempt to go into the Gathering Power, because he knew that he would not be able to keep these stacks together. It's such a high risk, high reward talent right now, but in this case it was definitely the better choice for them to use something else and go for the sustain with a Vampiric Strike. Down to the bot lane, the attempt to get the second shrine and claim the first Dragonite. Keep in mind though that we're still talking about level 19 versus level 20 talents. Zagara is already moving up to the top to take 1 shrine now herself, and we're having the Locust Nests for Abathur. We're seeing also the Hardened Shield for Mirrodin, the Bolt of the Storm on Zagara, and Rewind for Zeratul as we have the Storm Shield for Karazim. They can't give up that shrine at the bot lane though. They rotate in and they need to make sure that they get a bit more experience. That's all that they need to hit the level 20s. But if they give up the Dragonite again, it might mean keep. And if they lose a keep here, that would be a bit of a nightmare. Already the attempt to take down Zeratul. That doesn't work just yet. Both of the shrines have been taken. They need to make a play now. They have no level 20. Here comes the Owl. They're going in again. Aho is already going for the experience. They're starting to use it. Level 20 is now ready. Finally, but the fight has already started. McIntyre is already moving away with his Carrigan, who was extremely low. The 20s are taken now. The fight is happening. The Maw already chosen. We have the copy on Zeratul going in, but getting dropped immediately, right away. The Dragonite has been captured on the other hand, and now they're starting to move in, and Aho is dead. Aho dropped, Leoric is down, Battery is trying, but he gets Shrink Rate immediately, stunned out, locked down, and attacked. They're trying to drop him as fast as he can. Proteus was moving in with his Zeratul, but that's of course a dead keep, or a dead fort for now once more. Spectral Leech as the level 20 talent. No March of the Black King in this one, therefore no Black March either, no Death March either. Zuna pauses the game, tactical pause confirmed, Kappa. We have Hunter's Swiftness taken as the level 20 talent and Redemption on Uther. But what a game here already. I mean, these guys are really going completely balls out right now. We have another 52 seconds on the Dragonite. He's at 50% hit points and can try to move in now, but this is really tricky. The entire keep is still there. We still have that kill against Erho, but of course he is in a position where, thanks to his reanimation and the trade, he should be back very, very soon, and everybody else is trying to just zone as much as they possibly can to make sure that this keep is not falling now. But Blaze is on their way. They smell an opportunity, and they're starting to drop as much as they can. Already the heroic ability committed to. 7-sided strike. We do not have Muradin in avatar form yet, but Battery realizes that he has to move away here. He gets actually gravity lapsed again, and therefore is nearly down 13% in hit points, and that's just not enough to go for the keep. 20 versus 21 in talents, or in levels at this point. We have 6 kills against 7, and of course Leoric is back by now. Khaldor in the mid lane here, pushing it back. Look at that minimap. Creep tumors everywhere, so much vision, Abathar mines all over the map, like such a great job of Team Blaze to keep vision of what's going on. They have creep tumors up at the top at the shrines, another second on the Dragonite. Didn't do too much, but at least they were able to drop a fort and also push the BOB Ross Fanclub back. It's a great game that we're seeing right now. It's a super fun game. I'm really loving this. Back and forth the entire time. We're having another camp taken on the map. And of course, we all know that at this point, a single team fight that you win can decide the game. The cool thing for Team Blaze is that the BOB Ross Fanclub wasn't able to take down more than a single fort. 1 fort. That's all that they were able to eliminate. We still have the one in the mid lane. We still have the one in the bot lane. So even if BOB Ross is able to get a Dragonite, unless they move past the keep up at the top and go straight for the core, we are going to see Team Blaze pretty much fine. But now, keeps haven't been touched in this game at all. Well, they have been touched, but really not too much. So for now, we are going to see the attempt to get just some lane presence in by getting the first keep eliminated. Again, Arrow up at the top, eating one of those mines after another. Kenma as well. They're dropping the creep tumors. They're everywhere. Kenma is moving in for the next one. They deny vision wherever they can. And they are, of course, attempting to get it there somewhere on the map. Nice Owl showcasing again that we're having once more a camp taken by the opponent's team. They're starting to move in at the bottom keep, or at the bottom fort actually, and they are getting a lot of damage in against this one. The Owl is heading up to the top again, so you know exactly what's going on there. They need to be careful in these fights. There's a lot of zoning abilities, of course, on the side of Team Blaze. I mean, we're talking about more plus Void Prison. We've seen that in the last fight. If you really zone out heroes with the help of those two, then you can try and drop a target, isolate it, and take it down. But for now, it's really just all about the positioning for the next battle. And of course about those Dragonites that we're seeing again, because the shrines have been activated or are about to be activated, and that's going to be the important part. Even the deep push up at the top lane, where Zuna is currently using his chain bombs to get rid of the Bruiser camp, and also that Abathar push, because Abathar at this point is really a nuisance. I mean, this guy is just everywhere. He's capturing the temple up at the top. That could be another Dragonite. Battery! No way! They get the Dragonite again! Wow, what is BOB Ross doing? That could have been an Owl on Arthalon. They could have used that, but they lose the Dragonite again. I think this is the 4th or the 5th Dragonite that Team Blaze is getting. And slowly and steadily, this is getting a little bit silly. If you are trying to succeed on this map, you have to kind of work with the objective. But they give one after another to Team Blaze. And I mean, they've been playing quite well against that. But still, now it's the double Zeratul again. Zuna in trouble. But Jason is losing the copy on Zeratul soon again. The problem is that everybody else is extremely low. And maybe they can get another kill here as Jason jumps in once more. He gets stunned out on that copy and McIntyre eliminates it. But still, they're very low. And the more they push in, the... Oh, Kenma! Wow! Barely surviving against that bomb that we just saw there. Well done, but here comes the Void Prison. Stun against Karadim though. Battery is still there. Shrink rate already, and we have the Maelstrom activated on Kerrigan. He's moving away. They still didn't take... Oh my god, Zagara! Zagara is gonna get taken out here. They really want her, and they get her. It's the kill against Zagara. The Dragonite is now in the mid lane. and it's unbelievable that that bad boy was not able to drop a single keep yet. The keep is still alive, but look at these towers. Khaldor on his Zeratul is now up at the top and was dropping the front wall again. We have 7 kills against 7. That Zagara was exactly the kill that they needed here. Down to the bottom lane, Jason is still in position, but this game is absolutely insane. BOB Ross Fanclub with a couple of small mistakes that they always make, but they make up for them. And that Ranger talent that we're seeing on Tyrande is starting to give her a lot of damage. We could see already earlier how she was nearly able to take down Zeratul alone, and she's just throwing out every single out once that there's a camp on the map that could be taken by the opponent, which leads us into like pretty decent damage on her. I mean, Tyrande is currently at 24,000 damage, which isn't too bad if you compare it to Khaldor that is at 38,000 only. But keep in mind how much siege damage he has. 200,000 siege damage on Khaldor at this point, which is insane. And of course, when we're looking at the opponent's team, especially the hero damage of Abathur sticks out or stands out, where we have 73,000, 47,000 on Zeratul, and 48,000 on Zagara. Great damage numbers that we're currently having here. Once again, the teams are starting to fight and starting to jump in. Look at McIntyre going in for the potential kill. And they have again Zagara, but Rafflecopter is jumping out. That stun on Tyrande is hitting just a second too late. Wraith walking away. Lea Erho is making sure that he's not getting dropped by the opponent. He already used his own entomb and couldn't get the kill, but forced at least Zagara to commit to her Bolt of the Storm. So that's going to be down for another 60 seconds now. They're going straight in again for the fort. The thing is though, Zeratul isn't even there, because together with Jason, they are up here at the top trying to take one of these camps, stealing it away and pushing the lanes even further. Both of them are missing now, and that means that we're having a jump down to the bot lane, but this wall could fall now too. The 2 siege giants are really helping out, but now we have just the backdoor attempt by Zeratul moving straight in together with Abathur, starting to take down the keep, and they're going to get this one. The keep is going to fall. Khaldor is all over the map. He's not going for the defense here, but we have again Zagara, and this time she doesn't have any opportunity to get out of this one. Oh, the kill! They get the kill, even committing to the entomb again. Better safe than sorry, but it's a core attempt that we're now seeing on the side of Zeratul. The double Zeratul is jumping in. I just don't think that they have enough damage. One person is going to jump back, and this is now a race. This has started to become a race, and I'm not sure who's going to win there. 70% on the core. This is looking brutal, but it could end in favor of the BOB Ross Fanclub. They're faster. They're faster. The Zeratuls are strong, but they don't seem to be strong enough. Oh my god, they go in again. 20% against 30. This is going to be so close, but BOB Ross, they take it. They win the game, and the best of 3, they take the grand final at the end of the Storm North America qualifier. What a match, and they are 3 for 3 now in qualifiers. Amazing.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is GG and the end of another series here on Khaldor TV with Heroes of the Storm. So once again, we have another video finished, and I hope that you enjoyed the commentary and that you liked the game, of course, as well. It was a pleasure casting the match for you. And if you guys really enjoyed it, then make sure that you give that video a thumbs up on YouTube. And of course, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, feel free to do that too. If you have friends that are interested in Heroes of the Sports esports scene, then definitely recommend the channel to them, or just show them the video if they want to see like a bit how the pros are drafting here, especially of course when it comes to the North American scene, European scene. And I mean, these days we even have a couple of Chinese games on the channel here, so I hope that you enjoy that as well. That being said, thank you very much for watching again. I'm going to see you guys next time with more Heroes of the Storm content here on the channel. Have a great day and enjoy your week, and see you soon. Bye bye.